It's all about pressure. James Cameron described it as being the force of several military tanks stacked on your thumbnail. But the Deep-Sea Challenger submersible and its famous occupant survived their journey to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Together they reached a depth of almost 11,000 meters. And so did 3 wristwatches attached to the outside of the vessel. That's why Cameron's latest journey was to the Rolex factory in Switzerland. His fascination with the precise technology and engineering was clear. Cameras had never been allowed in here before, but Cameron opens doors. Doors to factories and, it seems, doors to scientific discovery.
Well, the science team are actually quite happy with the results. I wished I could have given them more in terms of samples and more dives and so on. I felt we'd underperformed, and the report back from them was, no, we're going to be publishing for years on this. So 68 new species, including around 60 new bacterial species, never seen by science before. We found examples of gigantism, which is as yet unexplained. Now, don't imagine something 30 feet long, but if you have an animal that's normally a centimeter long, suddenly this big, 10 or 20 times its normal size, how do you explain that?
Cameron believes that his expedition may ultimately help scientists to predict deep-sea earthquakes and the devastating tsunamis they can produce.
Building technology, vehicles like the Deep-Sea Challenger that can get down there is a first step to, let's say, planting large instrument arrays that allow us to study the seismic swarm activity down there, and maybe ultimately lead to some predictive modeling that tell us, look, we've got pressure building up here, this could be tsunami warning, everybody in the Pacific Rim, get ready, brace yourselves. I mean, we're certainly a ways off from that, but you've got to start somewhere.
Cameron's passion for exploration is driven by a childlike curiosity. Now he hopes to spread that enthusiasm to a new generation by taking his sub on a road trip.
We made science our mission, but I think ultimately the value of the sub is symbolic. And putting it on static display, touring it across the country as we're about to do in the U.S., giving access to school kids, elementary, high school, letting them come up and touch it and ask questions and just imagine the possible. Because that's what I was like when I was that age. So I think the inspirational dividend of this project will be probably its greatest contribution.
The sub will also descend on Capitol Hill. Legislators will be reminded that the Deep-Sea Challenge was undertaken without government funding, leaving private investors such as Rolex and National Geographic to lead the way.
We definitely are underfunded in ocean science right now, and I think it's going to come back to bite us in an age when we really need to understand, where's the heat going to go, where's the carbon going to go.
So if the sub's voyage to Washington produces a little pressure on federal funding of future exploration, James Cameron won't mind one bit. He can handle pressure, both underwater and on set.
Yeah, that's good. Like that is good. What you just did, just started.
A lot of pressure in both. In diving, you literally have pressure being the main driver of your engineering. In filmmaking, you have many other drivers, and physical pressure is never one of them.
With the prospect of producing 2 sequels to his blockbuster movie Avatar over the next couple of years, there'll be no shortage of adventure for James Cameron, and plenty of pressure. Neil Curry, CNN, in Geneva, Switzerland.